Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Ninja Hair Can Grow channel, and this is another video. I brought another video to you guys today, and the title of the video, as you can see, is Never Lose Your Edges Again. So this video is going to basically share my edges story with you guys and how my edges are thriving today because of the decisions that I've made. So it's basically going to be a rundown of my edges hair story and also tips and tricks on how to keep your edges alive. So moving swiftly along, I've had three kids, and in 3 times I've been pregnant. My hair was thriving, it was beautiful, it was lovely until I had the babies. And once I had the babies, my hair went through postpartum shedding, and one of the first places to go, like vanish, were my edges. So as you can see from the pictures, my edges took the beating. Like, I was going through some pictures from, you know, just postpartum or years ago when I used to blog, and I was looking at my edges and I was like, wow. I really lost my edges during postpartum shedding. Another time I did lose my edges was even before I got married, when I used to color my hair a lot. I was using the honey blonde cream of nature or something like that to color my hair almost every month. Like, once the new growth came out, I would color my hair, and I didn't have edges. Like, my edges were a shadow of themselves. So I've always had 2 weak points along my edges, here and right here. And even now that, you know, they're pretty much healthy, you can see that these 2 weak points right here are thinner than the rest of my edges. And it's because, you know, sometimes genetically you're predisposed to having that hairline, you know, the hairline that goes in and out. It's like a male hairline. Some people will have a widow's peak, you know, the hair comes all the way here, and you know, some people just have generally thin sides. So that was the hairline that was dealt to me. And even with my daughter, when I had her, she has the same exact hairline. So being conscious of my hairline is something that I made a priority in my entire hair journey, because I knew that it won't be cute to have healthy hair and no edges. So one of the first things that I started to do, which everybody should be doing, is protecting your hairline with satin. So with my daughter, I have a theory, and it worked. I lined all her hair beanies and her, even where she was laying her bedding, with satin when she was a tiny little baby. And because I noticed she had very thin sides, her hair along her hairline, I was conscious of this. So by lining her bedding with satin, her hair was preserved basically. So it didn't grow faster, but she didn't lose her hairline, and she didn't lose the back of her hair. And that's the same way satin has preserved my hairline. So I use a satin. I used to use a pillowcase, but it started to affect my skin, because, you know, when you apply the oils and stuff, they would be retained in the satin, and then you put your face on there and then you just have acne. So it affected my skin, so I stopped with the pillowcases. But since I started my hair journey almost 10 years ago, I have slept with a satin bonnet. And a lot of people have different issues with satin bonnets. Sometimes they would say, oh, the satin bonnet will slip off from their hair or would fall out. So I have different satin bonnets I rely on. Sometimes I'll wear 2 at a time. Usually I like something big and voluminous, just like this, just because I just want to be able to put all my hair in. Now with hair extensions, this, you know, is able to hold all of my hair. And yeah, so, and then also I'm conscious of the elastic, so some of them will be too tight and will end up, you know, really indenting into your hairline. You don't want that type of pressure on your hairline. You always want your hairline to be pressure free. So this is it is elastic, but it's very light, and it's barely, because it's that big, it even stays on my forehead, and it's barely tight. Sometimes a lot of people would get the ones where you can adjust with a rope, you can tie it up, and whatever works for you, whatever is comfortable for you. The most important thing is that your hairline is being protected with this satin. You can use satin wherever you feel like there's any kind of friction, like your wigs, you know, when you wear your wigs. I usually will line the hairline with satin just along the pressure points. That has really helped me with wearing wigs comfortably without me feeling like, oh, you know, it's really putting pressure on my hairline. Anything that will cause any kind of tension, any kind of pulling, any kind of discomfort on your hairline is bad for your hairline. It's going to make you lose your hairline. It might not happen immediately. Sometimes a lot of people will not notice the hairline start to recede gradually until it's not like so obvious to the whole wide world. You don't want to be that person. So satin is my number one trick, my number one recommendation for any kind of hairline preservation. Another important tip is avoiding buildup of any kind. So I did a study, and I found that the type of hair along our hairline is called intermediate hair. So we have the terminal hair where, you know, our scalp is. The majority of our hair is terminal. Terminal hair grows out thicker, it's stronger, it has a thicker hair shaft, and terminal hair is also deeper into the hair, into the epidermis of the skin, so into the scalp, into where the blood vessels are. So usually it will grow out longer and thicker and will withstand, you know, all the pulling and tugging for the most part. And then we have the vellus hair, which is hair on our skin. It's non-pigmented, it's 2 cm long, it doesn't go deep into the epidermis, it's a thinner hair shaft, the roots are tubular, so it's a different type of hair altogether. Now when it comes to the hairline, they have classified it as intermediate hair. So it's not terminal hair, it's not vellus hair, it's just intermediate. It's just right there in the middle. It behaves sometimes like vellus hair in the sense that it's not as deep penetrating into our epidermis, and so it doesn't have enough blood circulation or blood vessels around it as much as our terminal hair. But at the same time, it's not 2 cm long, it's not non-pigmented, it's pigmented, but it doesn't just grow out as long. So I would say a good 4 inches or 3 inches from your hairline to where your hair starts is where your intermediate hair is, and that area, just from what I've said, should be treated differently. Because for instance, if I put this needle, look at this needle right here, if I put this needle deep into my darling Whitney here, she's my mannequin, if I put this needle that much into, I've just, you know, tiny prick into her hair, and I tried to pull it out. Can you see? It was easy to pull out. Now if I went deeper like that, can you see? Trying to pull it out just by snipping it off. Did you see that it was harder to come out? I'll have to do a few tries before I could pull it out. So it's the same thing. Like if the hairs are not as deep into the epidermis, into the scalp, then it's easier for them to just fall out, right? And that is why our intermediate hair should be treated differently, because it's not as strong as the terminal hair and it's going to be weaker. So knowing this already makes you treat it differently in sense of when you are trying to style your hair, when you're using a hairbrush, when you're creating styles. Like with this style now, I could have easily started braiding from here, and I've seen people do that. I could have done that. I could have started braiding from right here, but can you see that I left all of that alone, you know, and it still looks presentable. You involve your hairline in all these braids, some of these braids that, you know, they're starting almost at the eyebrow and they're starting to pull. It's like, why? What is the aim? Is it going to make the hair look neater? I don't think so. Like, that's the point of having gels. And speaking of gels, we're going to go into that. That's the point of having things to tame the frizz, because those things are able to, you know, keep those flyaways at bay and make everything look more presentable. And then speaking of gels and waxes like this, gels like this, you know, we want to keep our edges tamed and we want to look neat and make them, you know, presentable. But at the same time, these gels tend to cause some type of friction on the hair sometimes, especially when they're waxy. Like something like this, I wouldn't use this on my hairline. I would never use a wax like this on my hairline, just because when they're thick and waxy, they tend to, first of all, cause build-up, and then the build-up will sometimes gum the hairs together, and that's friction. That's, you know, action of brushing with the gel or with the wax can actually break those intermediate hairs off. And if the gel or the wax gets hard, one of those ones that gets really hard, like a got2b or something, it can actually pull your hairline out if you don't like wash it. And speaking of which, I'm going to give you maintenance tips on when you finally use a gel. But when you are using those gels, be very careful so that you're not using gels that are too harsh on your hairline. Preferably aloe vera based gels instead of alcohol based gels. Gels that are, you know, natural and soft hold instead of those rock hard gels. I don't think our hairline needs that or wants that. So yes, so with gels, I'm not against gels. You know, there's people who are against it. I'm not against gels. I say just be responsible with using your gels. Just don't use them excessively, don't use them forcefully, meaning don't, you know, use the brush and be like that. And yes, don't use gels that are alcohol based. That's one. Then when you're finally trying to take the gels out, I do take my gels out every single day. When I'm washing my face, I just put the water and let the water and the face wash or whatever I'm using go in there, and I wash my hairline. I wash my hairline not with a shampoo, as I said, just with water and my face wash or whatever I'm using on my face, and I just take out all that buildup every day. Because the buildup, as I said, is bad for your intermediate hairs because they are weaker. They are not able to get as much nutrients because they're not deep where the blood circulation is. So you want to avoid anything that will go in there and mess up the area. Scalp stimulation is another thing. You can really get your hairline to be restored healthy back again from scalp stimulation. I'm a living witness. So you see all those pictures with my hairline a hot mess when I had my babies. Over time, I just incorporated a lot of scalp massages, scalp stimulation along my hairline. It's something that I do on a regular basis. Usually I would say max twice, 3 times a week, especially just before wash day. When I apply my oils and I pre-poo, I just go in there and I massage, and that act of massaging actually causes the blood circulation to increase in those areas, and your scalp is healthier. As long as you have healthy hair follicles and they're clear, they're seeing road, you can scalp stimulate, and you should incorporate that at least twice a week into your regimen at the start of the week, at the end of the week. And we're now doing an Ayurvedic hair challenge, which is excellent if you want to grow your edges. Ayurveda is proven, and there's just so many benefits and so many vitamins in these herbs that help with growing the hairline, that help with growing healthier, stronger hair. So that's definitely something you want to look into. I'm going to link that video in my caption below, so if you want to watch and see all the herbs that I use and how to start the challenge, you're more than welcome to do that. So definitely scalp stimulation along your hairline is another tip for growing out your edges. Then finally, the tip that I do have is actually getting a serum or a product specifically for edge growth. Okay, so there's so many in the market, and we're actually working on one right now, my company NHCG Trichology, but essentially using I would say something that has holistic ingredients, all like natural ingredients, all the Ayurvedic herbs and stuff, and something that has chemical ingredients coming together, merging them together and using them can be excellent, and I mean excellent for your hair. So if you want to ask me what kind of chemicals are great for a hairline, for growing the hairline or growing stronger hair, I'm going to say anything with keratin, anything that has protein, amino silk acids, anything that will strengthen the hair. Like as I said, the keratin is excellent for the hair. Hyaluronic acid, acids that will attract moisture to your hair and strengthen your hair, are excellent for your hair. Glycerine, you know, there's just so much out there. You need to do some research. Use something targeted for your intermediate hairs. You can have your regular shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, sealing butter, all of that. Great, you can have that, but to have something specifically for your edges will be excellent. Right now, because I'm still working on this other product, I use the 10 Plus Restorative Scalp Serum. You've seen me use it several times, even on my page. It's a serum. So this is how it looks. This is the big size, and basically, you know, this one is a more natural formulation, so there's no chemicals, and that's why at the beginning I said something with chemicals and natural ingredients will be perfect if you're really trying to grow out your edges. Now with me maintaining my edges which are not damaged, you know, this is more of a very natural serum with aloe vera, nettle extract, marshmallow root extract, grapeseed, calendula oil, castor. So it's really a bunch of oils in here, and the only chemical that is here is sulfur. So every other thing is natural. So this is like really a natural product, and it's perfect for me in terms of just maintaining my hair. Now if I really wanted to grow out my edges for one reason or the other, if I lost them, then I would need something stronger, something more clinical, you know. So a lot of people are using natural products and are expecting results like that the next day. Unfortunately, with natural products, you have to wait a little bit longer. You have to have a little bit of more patience because they are natural, and you know, you just have to be patient with them. Even essential oils are great for growing your edges out. You know, rosemary oil is one of them. It's at the top, and I think it's in here. Yes, rosemary. Peppermint oil, all those oils that stimulate growth on a follicular level are excellent. So you need to use something targeted at your edges. You can't be using the same thing that you use for the rest of your terminal hair on your intermediate hairs. So I think with that is like a pretty basic guideline on never losing your edges again. Okay, you know, you could go more intense and do like derma rollers. I've seen the videos of people shaving their hairline and using the derma rollers for 3 months, and it will stimulate growth. So just think, what will stimulate growth? Anything that will stimulate growth is excellent for your hair. Okay, it's excellent for your thinning hair. So with that, I feel like if you stick to those basic rules, you will not lose your edges. The edges will not be your struggle. If you've already lost your edges, you're now going to be working your way back to healthy edges, and these tips will be great to implement. So we're going to go into another segment of this video. Remember last week I said I was going to find the winner of my first YouTube video giveaway. So let's get to it. So this is my video from last week right here, and I had How many comments? Let me see. Okay, I had one. I want, I'm here. Okay, so I have 4 entries, right? Because there are 4 entries, that's easy. I'm just going to write their names in a paper. I'm going to throw it in a bowl, pick one name, and that's our winner. So let's go. I don't know if you can see them. These are the 4 names. Sapong Emanuela, Sika Golden, is it Golden? Wante, and Olamide Abe. So I'm going to tear up the paper. Okay, I picked one. Wante! Congrats, Wante! You won! You won my first giveaway. Woo-hoo! 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 Thanks for entering the giveaway. Thanks guys for watching my video, and there will be more giveaways, so subscribe to my channel. And if you found this video helpful, please spread the word, please share, please like, please encourage your girl, and I will be back next week Sunday. So thank you and take good care. Bye.